Hey guys, welcome back to Dislyte. In today's video, I wanted to talk about Mona because I made a video yesterday talking about beginner teams, and I said if I was free to play, I would be using for my 2 DPS, Li Ling and also Drew. And I saw in the comments from a fair few different people that they were asking about Mona. So I wanted to make a specific video about her and basically talk about her kit. Now, when the soft launch first started, Mona was like the go-to because we didn't have the beginner pity where you could get something like Li Ling. And the reason I wouldn't build Mona is because Li Ling is sort of just a better version of her. He has the nice single target damage, which is really helpful for bosses. He does have the heal. They have very similar kits. They both have AP steal, they both have self-healing, and they both have AoE. But the thing with Li Ling is he has a really heavy single target nuke, which is actually stronger against bosses in my opinion. Now, Mona is a better farming unit. However, I'm in purgatory stages at the moment farming the XP, like the what do they call it? The practice rounds. And, you know, Li Ling doesn't have any issues. So unless there becomes something where you can't actually farm it with Li Ling, I don't see the reason to build Mona. That is me personally. Like I said, if you like Mona, you can go ahead and build her. I just wanted to talk about my reasoning why I would go with Li Ling and Drew. Now, for people that pulled Wukong, I haven't tested a Wukong run through. To me, I'm just like, if I pulled a Wukong, I'd spend half an hour reroll. At most, you're looking at 3 or 4 rerolls, hopefully get a Li Ling, and away you go. It's just such an, it's one that I just wouldn't go for Wukong. So I haven't tested that. I don't know if Wukong can be semi-viable in Chronos and stuff like that. So that's its whole own thing. So sorry for the Wukong people. I don't know. I haven't experimented with it yet. But most people will be rolling for the Li Ling. And then once you have Li Ling, like I said, if you're building Li Ling as your first 6-star because you want to get that scroll and stuff like that, the shimmer scroll that you get when you max level him to 60, because like I said, him and Mona play a very similar role. They're both good farmers and they're both good at Chronos. Mona is better farmer. Li Ling is better at Chronos. Even though he doesn't have elemental advantage, he has that really heavy single target nuke. And that is the reason why I would go with Li Ling. And once you've got one unit that fills those 2 roles, I don't want a second unit filling those roles. Now, if you go, I don't like Li Ling, I might build Mona. Go nuts. Like, that's fine. For me, every day of the week, I'm 6-starring and maxing out my Li Ling to get that shimmer scroll because I'm a summon addict and that's what we do. But yeah, I just think, like I said, he is a better version of Mona and that's why I go with it. And then if you went with him and Mona, you've now 6-starred your first 2 units that are only useful for farming and for Chronos. And neither of them bring anything different to Chronos to actually help your team along the progression. Now, the thing about Drew, which is the one I spoke about, which is Anubis, he's a 3-star, which means he's easier to get skill ups for and stuff, but he brings a defense break to the team and really heavy single target nuking, which is really good for the boss. Now, on top of that, his heavy single target nuke, also in the waves, if it kills someone, he's going to go and attack the others and ignore defense, which is really strong for waves as well. So that is why I really like Drew. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to shit on Mona at all in any way. I think Mona is still a really viable unit. It's just that because the game gives us a free Li Ling, you know, Mona's just outclassed in my opinion. Now, for the Wukong people, if you rerolled for Wukong, you know, it might be an option to build Mona and Drew. Like, to me, that makes sense. Or you could build Mona and Wukong, maybe. I just don't know about Wukong's viability in Chronos. You might have to go ahead and build another unit past that. But Mona is definitely a viable option for that. The problem is, you know, if you're building Wukong and she does happen to work in Chronos, you know, Wukong can also farm. So then you're building 2 farming units again, which is something I don't like to do. Until there's more content in the game that warrants really having that Mona built, I'm not going to build her personally. Now, in the soft launch, like I said, I absolutely loved her. Her kit is not horrible by any stretch of the imagination. This one, with 2 skill ups, you get to 115% multiplier, and if it crits, it gets an additional 30% damage, which is not too bad. This one's AoE, steals health off all enemies, and when you awaken her, it also is going to steal their AP. And this one, like I said, if you get a kill, too much footy. If you get a kill, then you're going to get an extra attack. So she's fantastic at farming. But like I said, the main reason for me that I don't build her and I didn't recommend her in my video is that if you're already going with Li Ling, you're sort of, you know, you're sort of just doubling up on the same thing, which is, you know, I'd prefer to look forward to APEP and build a unit that's useful in APEP and also in Chronos. So if we look at the base stats, now this is the thing. She does actually beat out on Li Ling with the base stats. However, I think with Li Ling's extra, max HP scaling damage, he does win out. So if we go over here and we go to max stats, if you're curious about a character's base stats at max level, you can just do this. So over here in this menu section, we hit the little thing that looks like a person, I guess, and then we just hit max level, and it can show you their base stats at max level. Now, these base stats do not take into account awakening bonuses. So, for instance, some characters get speed. This would be 105. Say I don't think Li Ling does get speed, but say he got a 10 speed bonus. That would not show on here. You'd have to go into each character individually and look at their awakening bonus. It'd be really cool if at max level they actually had a plus to show you what awakening bonuses they got, but unfortunately they don't. So that is that. That is Li Ling. So once again, I'll look at his attack here, and we have a look, and he is at max level 1204. I believe she was like 1255. I don't know why I remember that, but I think she was. Yeah, so she's 1255. So she does have a little bit of attack on him. She is much slower as well, which, speed isn't the #1 priority on these characters, but the faster your characters are, the more turns they get, helps them with farming, helps them with everything else. But, like I said, if you want to build Mona, she's not a horrible unit. I'm not saying that she's bad. It's just that she's the one that I don't prioritize because we do get Li Ling. Like I said, the Wukong thing, I really don't want to build an account just to test Wukong. I just, you do get the defense break with her. Like, maybe if you had Wukong, she could survive, maybe debuff the boss, and then you could bring a Mona in for that. I'm not too sure. I apologize to all the Wukong people. I'm not well versed in the Wukongness, if that's a word. Haven't tested it out enough, but like I said in my previous video, Mona, not bad, but better options to be had. And also always check your 4 stars and your 5 stars, what you've pulled, see if you can get it. And when you're team building, just to add on to the emphasis of my previous video, look at what the characters are bringing to the team, and that should sort of help aid you in the next characters that you do want to build. Like, what are they bringing? What is the next bit of content? What content are you doing that you don't need anything more for? And what's the next content that you're looking at that you will need a character for? And like I said, I always prioritize DPS units to 6-star first because it gives them more damage and also gives them more sustainability. Whereas your support, your control, your healer, your buffer, all those units, you can just relic them really tanky with defense, HP, and speed, and they should be pretty fine. But anyway, guys, that's it. Just had to cover the Mona. She's still really cool. Like, don't get me wrong, Mona, one of my favorite characters, like, for design. I'm a big fan of bows. So any character with a bow just gets it. And like, that jacket is too cool. Like, she is a sick unit. Eventually I will 6-star mine because I loved her on soft launch, but unfortunately we get Li Ling. Can't do anything about it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.